We're here on the set at Embassy Suites, Corpus Christi at SPID, trying to give you guys a presentable background, give it a little professionalism in there. We're just gonna freestyle today, you know, open door policy. My nephew Justin wants to shoot some questions, general questions, with the life of a felon. Also here, Lewis, of course, with the West Side Story. So we were cruising around today, huh? We went to where I grew up. We took pictures.
Yeah, it's on Irwin Street, right?
Irwin Street.
Irwin and West Side.
I wonder if they can hear you there. Irwin and West Side. Yeah, my street happens to be West Side and Irwin. I'm gonna go ahead and post that. Show y'all a little picture somewhere, somehow. It says West Side and Corpus Christi. So this name is applicable to my page. My wife's telling me may want to change it. I don't know, but I think it's a good name, West Side Story. You know, because not only is it West Side Story, it's symbolic of just, you know, us guys who grew up, you know, in the streets, you know, any part of town really, but you know, that's really what it's about.
How was it back then?
Back then,
when we went over there, it was I guess older the neighborhood gets,
yeah.
You know, it gets a little bit more
I know exactly what you're saying. It's called degenerate.
But back then it wasn't like that.
Yeah, that's right. It was like a Mr. Will Rogers neighborhood back then, and it was called Oak Park. It's Saxit. It's called Saxit. The legal name is Saxit, but it's Oak Park. It's Oak Park neighborhood. But yeah, that was a prominent neighborhood back in the 20s and 30s. They even have a landmark, and the street behind there, Oak Park. You know, prominent people lived there back then. You know, back in the 20s and 30s. It's a very beautiful neighborhood back then. But yeah, it's become run down. You know, of course, there's the crack pandemic. I know that had to do with a lot of neighborhoods everywhere. It's kind of like what do you call that? Motor City. What do you call that? Where they make them automobiles up in, what's that state up there? The town went bankrupt, in fact, or almost went bankrupt. Just nobody was making money up there.
Yeah, I remember playing at that Oak Park when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, Oak Park.
Yeah. And there, watching all the families barbecue and everything like that.
Yeah, it's still a decent park, by the way. It's still decent. They have a lot of trees, a lot of oak trees over there, a lot of good shade. A lot of them barbecues are built in.
Yeah.
They're built in, solid rock, stone. You could make a good barbecue over there if you want.
Oh yeah. Now what you do today?
Not much, man. Just relaxed all day. Still thinking about this channel, this movement they say it is. You know, just trying to bring together a lot of guys to give their testimony. You know, the things they've been through. You know, a lot of guys been through hell, man. You know, I was talking to my friend last night. I'm not gonna give his name yet. I want to give him the honors when we do, but he's ready, man. He gave a powerful story last night, man. Wild. You know, he's he got a lot of heart. You know, he did 25 flat. Man. He's been through a lot. He went down when he was 15 or 16. He went to them old units. They didn't even have them units back then. You know, back then, I think it was in the early 90s when they had the prison boom. I think Governor Bush or Clinton, I think it was. They built all these mass prisons throughout Texas. You know, there was a lot of crime, man, throughout in them years in the early 90s, all over the United States. So they were getting ready, you know. But he landed in them prison units. He was telling me some wild stories. You know, I mean, he had to, you know, do what you had to do to survive, you know, to make it out alive, that is. You know, it was wild, you know. I got fortunate. I never got to them old units until right before I got out, right at the end of my sentence. That Ferguson unit I told you guys about, where I brought the FBI to Ferguson. Brought the laws on them, how they say the pen is mightier than the sword. But so yeah, I got to see the old school units, and I don't like those, man. The cells are small, man. They're like small. You have to live in there with another guy, man. It's like small, and it's hot and it gets cold. But I was fortunate to go to the medium custody units, where it's a little bit more, you know, for what it is. It's a little more, what's the word, civilized, a little bit more comfortable. The cells are bigger. Yeah, they're bigger, you know.
Yeah, eventually we're gonna start getting more guys on here, man, and share their story and stuff like that. But everybody's always doing stuff, you know. We gotta find the right time and all that. But we'll get some new stories on here.
Yeah, that's right. That's gonna keep us going, you know, giving more testimonies. My friend says this movement is it's gonna be like a current modern day I'll Cry in the Barrio. You know, I don't know if you guys heard about that. It was an old movement back in the late 70s, possibly 80s. Ironically, too, all them stories came out of West Side San Antonio. It was bad back then. A lot of heroin addicts. You know, you could read the book, you know, all the stories they had. But ours is more of a higher caliber because, or it's a, I don't know the correct word, but it's like a lot of us guys, we had that drug addiction. Not only that, we had crime, violent crimes, and, you know, unfortunately, casualties, you know, as a result, you know, this caught up with the, you know, criminal gang banging, drive-bys, murders, you know. One of our first friends died. We mentioned him last night too, rest in peace, Jimmy Hinojosa. He was only 15 years old. He was one of the first ones that died in our gang at the time. We were called Los Mafiosos. Yeah, he was one of the first ones to go out, you know, and, you know, I'm telling you guys, that life of crime, man, it doesn't pay, man. You know, I can't stress enough, and I'll keep stressing it, you know, to make you guys understand, you know, it's not worth it, man. Living in the streets, running in the streets, you know, you can't trust anybody, you know. You know, even if you go into the hierarchy of, you know, the families and stuff, which they still function and exist out there, you know, you can watch them current videos, you know, on TV. There's an episode, the guys at San Antonio, that were giving, some of them were getting out, but they tell you inside information, man. These guys, the more you know, they get you. It's like the movies, you know, the more you know, the higher you get. Yeah, you know, it's just a dangerous game, you know.
There was a lot of that back then, right?
Yeah, and like I said, you know, here in Corpus, I don't know what's going on, you know. Like I said, I'm an older guy now, so I, you know, of course I don't get involved, but you hear it on the news, you know, you hear it on the news. These young guys, man, there's still drive-bys out there here in Corpus, you know.
Yeah.
So like I said, I don't know what's out there, you know. I don't know what kind of gangs are out there, but, you know, how they form their cliques and societies. But yeah, they're out there, man, and we gotta, you know, there was this guy that came from, matter of fact, from another, I think it was one of them states up. He heard about the violence here in Corpus, man, and he actually came down here, man. He came down here to talk to these kids. That's how bad it was, man. Seriously, I wish I could find that article. I would share a link or something. And actually, I think I even texted him. I think it was on Facebook. I said, hey, man, is there anything I can do to help, you know, or, you know, get out there, you know, to talk to these kids, man, because that's probably all they need, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all they probably need is just a good talking to, man, from someone who's real, you know, who's seen it and done it, you know. You know, a lot of these guys' fathers are probably locked up too, you know. So they have no guidance, you know. They have no father figure, no guidance, you know, nobody to put them in their place.
It was that bad, right? And someone else had to come from
another
city to come over here, huh?
Yeah, he came all the way down from, I forgot what state. It's one of them northern states.
Yeah.
Heard about this pandemic down here in Corpus. Yeah, we should have gone live with this, nephew. I don't want to take too much of the subscribers' time. We'll probably keep it short, maybe 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, 10-15 minutes.
10-15 minutes. It's a beautiful day out there, guys. Gotta stay cool. Stay cool,
8
guys.
minutes,
Yeah, we should have gone live so we can get some comments, man. Keep it going.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll go live next time. Yeah.
I want to give a shout out too to this other channel. It's called Around the Way TV. This guy has some good stuff. He's got some good content. His niche is about interviewing troubled youth. That's a good target, man. That's a good target, man. The youth too. Not only the grown men. You know, the youth. That's where you get them. You know, when they're young, they're wild, man. Them youngsters are wild nowadays, man. I even mentioned on his post. He said, man, nowadays I seen them kids, man. They're all tatted up. It wasn't like that, man. When we were growing up, man, we didn't. You know, you might have had a couple of tattoos, but these guys are all tatted up like grown convict men, man.
Yeah.
Wow, man. Them streets are wild. It's a different world, different generation, man. Different generation, guys. You know, it's not about that, man. It's not about that. It's not about that. It's about living a normal life, man. Being a nerd, man. To be honest with you, you know how they say. They say there's a saying. You know, it's the nerd the nerds that we used to pick on, or not me, I wasn't the
Now
bully.
we're working for them.
Yeah. Now we're working for them nerds, man. You know, those are the ones that have the degrees, they have the nice hot jobs, nice car, nice house.
Yeah.
Look at the ex-convict now, man. They're struggling with that record.
To
No
impress
good,
who,
man.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. To impress who, man? Just
And
like
now
you said.
we're working for them.
Exactly,
They're
man.
the real gangsters now.
That's a powerful point, man. It really is.
Yeah, now they're the real gangsters. We're working for them.
Yeah, that's right, man. That's right, man.
Yeah.
That's what you want to be, man. You want to be that guy, man. That's the real stand-up guy right there. That's the real man right there. You know,
Calling all the shots, making the money,
Exactly,
not breaking
man.
his back, but
Yep.
yeah, man.
That's deep, man.
It's been a pretty good weekend. We've been getting a lot of videos out to the channel and all that.
Yeah. And thank you guys for subscribing and watching, for taking time watching. You know, you could probably learn something. You know, sometimes you learn something all the time.
Yeah.
We got a couple of subscribers. We had a couple of comments.
Yeah, we did.
Although
I don't know where they came from, but
I'm not
yeah.
gonna mention it, but it was a link. Somebody sent the link, man. That led somewhere that's not good. But anyhow, man, we're gonna go ahead and cut y'all loose.
A nasty robot.
Y'all go ahead and hit the like and subscribe. Hit that bell button on the top.
Oh yeah.
Just wanted to touch base with you guys, let you know that we're still here. We exist. We want to grow, eventually grow, and just reach out and see where it leads us. If all this work changes one life, we did our job. We did what we could do, guys. All right, guys, y'all stay safe.